Look, until you play Isle of Cats with us, you cannot be in the videos. No, seriously, Molly, we've got things to do. Shut up, human. I do what I wish. Hello and welcome to All Around the Board, and today we'll be doing our next mystery game. I'm glad you joined in that time. Awesome. I didn't pay her to do that, no. Anyway, in today's video we will be pulling out of the bag. We don't know what we're playing until it gets revealed. Have you had a chance to watch Mystery Game Episode 1? Let us know what you think of it. Let us know if you've even played it. But I'm not going to tell you what it is because you've got to go and find out yourself. Anyway, for those who have not seen, we have 53 more games in here. It was 54, but obviously the other ones come out. So we've got 53 games in here. Jade is going to put her hand into the lovely bag. Not that one though. I don't want to be playing that game.
You'll put it on. So
just to let you know, before she pulls out, we literally do not have any idea what we're going to be playing until it comes out. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Is your hand actually stuck?
It was, yeah.
I mean, you could pull it out anytime soon.
Plastics were stuck together.
Yeah, but anytime soon you could pull it out. I super glued it. No, right. Okay, let's go. Right, what we got? Hey, I love that game.
I know.
Do you like that one?
I don't mind playing that one, yeah.
I'm up for that. I've wanted to play that for a little while now, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so what we're going to do is do a quick fast forward of setting this up, and then we're going to start with the game. What the fuck did you wave? Who are you waving to?
I don't know, I felt a bit awkward.
Okay, so here we go, guys. This is set up, and as you could probably tell from the intro and by the ambulances and the first aid cross, yes, you guessed it, it is Dice Hospital. This is a fantastic game for 1 to 4 players. There is a solo mode in here. It's a bit of dice drafting and then some action selection and management going on here. It's also simultaneous play, apart from when we're choosing ambulances, but that's very minor. But when we actually do the main bit of the game, that is when we are playing at the same time. Before we play, I will note that we have a dice tower that you can build. I never use it, so the dice that we've had to take out of this main bag, I've just used it there for display. I don't tend to use it. It's quite hard to get your hand into, but it looks great anyway, so it's staying out. Also, another massive mention to Dagobbo's Grotto. I did a painting day with him. Let me just pick this ambulance up so you guys can have a proper look. I did a painting day with Dagobbo's Grotto, and we painted, I think I ended up doing maybe one of these fully, and he did the other 4. Now I know that the main game, or the artwork for it, is kind of that white and green, but you know, I'm from the UK and that is what our ambulances look like, so I had to go with that colour scheme. Now everything you see here and what we're going to be playing today is just going to be the base game with no extra modules, no extra variants, so to speak. So this is the stuff that I've put to one side. I've got some expansion stuff and some that are modules. So these here are the specialists that you can get dealt at the beginning of the game. They've got a little extra rule or rule that you can go by as you play. We're not going to play with them, but they do add a little bit of variant to it. We also have an event deck here, so you can play with events to make the game a little bit more difficult for you. There is the solo mode cards. Obviously, we're not going to be playing solo because, Jade sat right next to me. And here are the cardboard variants of the ambulances. The ambulances are from the promo pack that you can get, and you can get the 3D models for that, but they're just the cardboard versions. But on the other side, they have an endgame scoring variant there. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that one, but that's just another one of the 3 modules that you can add, plus if you want to play solo. Over here we also have some of the expansion tiles, so these are extra rooms that you can add if you get the expansion, and we've got the extra workers that you get in here as well. I've not really played too much with these. I have a couple of times. They add a lot of variant to them, but a little bit of randomness as well. There's like rolling the die and stuff like that. But yeah, they're nice to add in, but I'm not going to do it just for this video because I want to teach you guys the basics of the video. If you do want to see the game with all of this included, let me know in the comments below or leave some likes. Make sure you subscribe as well, and maybe I'll think about doing those in a separate video. Before we start the game, I'm just going to go over to here and talk about what is happening in this section here. So in here we need one card or one tile per player -1. So there's 2 of us, and that means only 1 goes out in each. The only exception in a 2-player game is whoever has this first player marker gets to put an extra 1 of their choice. So either another member of staff or another room, not another one of each. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose an extra member of staff. So the game is played in 8 rounds. This will spin round, round, round until we have done 8 full rounds, and then we can see who has the most points. The way that you get points is by treating these patients, or in this case their die. You need to get them from a 6 to a 7. Yes, with bunny rabbit ears, because obviously they cannot be made to a 7. But once they're a 6 and they get cured one more time, they come over to here. And then look over here, and depending on how many die you can manage to discharge is how many points you're going to get on the right hand side under the gold mark. So if I got rid of 2 patients, then I will get 3 points. But we'll show you step by step how this works. The way around works is we do the intake first, then improvement, then activation, neglect, discharge, and then shift change. 6 phases, repeated 8 times. Super easy little game, hard to master, but easy to play. So let's go with the intake to start with. So you'll notice that we have 3 ambulances because there are 1 more than the players in play. Obviously there's myself and Jade, so we've just got the 3 ambulances there, and on painted on them we do have 1, 2 and 3. This is very specific that they stay in order. We'll then go into our bag, and we need 3 die per ambulance. So let me just grab roughly 9 die. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, you're 1 short.
9. That wasn't bad, was it? Then we need to give them a roll. That was a really bad roll. Any 1s or 6s need to be re-rolled. And we'll just do that again. And the person who is to the right of the first player. So I've got the first player token. The person to the right of, which in this case is only going to be Jade, she gets to put them in order from the number 1. So all the 3s will go on to the first ambulance. There is an overspill of 3s, so that will go on to the next, and I'll show you how these will get rearranged in a moment. The 4s have to go on. That's right. And then the 5s have to have their own ambulance. So once Jed has done that, let's have a look at how we can change that order. So the 5s have to go on that ambulance. There's only 3 of them, and they have to go far right on that one. Those 3s, there's 4 of them. You can change the 3s around, but the 4s have to stay where they are because they cannot go onto that one, and there's too many 3s to go on this one. They have to be in number order, but you can change the colour. Now Jade gets to choose, because she's right of the first player, she gets to choose if it's going to be 1 of each colour, or is she going to swap that green 3 for a red 3, or swap it for the yellow 3. That is entirely up to her. So I'm going to leave that up to her now. Are you changing any of that?
I'm not going to change anything.
You're not? Okay. So now she has done that, starting with the player with the first aid kit, they are going to choose 1 of their ambulances. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this ambulance here. And the die that are on here end up going into my wards. Now it is worth noting that I do start with 3 patients. You get 3 die out of the bag and you have to set them to a 3, 4 and a 5. It's my choice. I got red, red, yellow, and Jade got red, red, green, and she's decided to do it like that, whereas I decided to do mine like that. It doesn't matter which arrow they go on. It just means there are 12 spaces for die. So don't worry about keeping them in the same place. If you want to reorder them, you'll see how I order them later on in the video. But you go ahead and you take them off your ambulances and pop them into that space there. Then it is on to Jade's go. So she's going to select 1 of the 2. So the die of the 1 that remains go back in the bag. And it's very likely that you're going to take the higher die, and you're going to see why. So the player who takes the lowest numbered ambulance, in this case was Jade, because she took number 2, and I took number 3. 1 got left, so Jade gets the first player token off of me and she gets a blood bag. Now these wooden pieces here are actually from the deluxe version. In the base game you just get the little cardboard ones, but for this video we had to use the wooden pieces. So Jade has now got the first player marker. We then go to the improvement section, and starting with the new first player, which is now Jade, she gets to select one of these 3 improvements. Now these are your members of staff, which you'll go over and get some different meeples, and we'll explain what the workers do in a moment. Just hold on one moment. But you get to choose one of those, or you get to choose one of the rooms which has an extra ability that you can do when you send a member of staff there. What are you going to choose, Jade? Okay, so she's gone ahead and she's chosen the room. Okay, and then I get to choose one of these members of staff. They do the same thing, just in a different coloured dice. I have lots of red dye here, which apparently I've just thrown all my patients around the hospital. I am going to go ahead and get the red one. Now this stays with me for the rest of the game. Anytime you get a member of staff like this card here, you go ahead and you get one of these red meeples, and I'm going to put that with my anaesthetist.
There you go.
Did I pronounce that correctly?
I think so.
Oh good. The one that is left can be just discarded, so I'm just going to go and throw him over there. Not that he's like not wanted, but well, he's not wanted really. Now with the members of staff, all the rooms that we took, instead of taking them and placing them and using what they are, you can actually take them, discard them, and get a blood bag instead. We will tell you what the blood bags do as well. I'm sure you're going to see it through the playthrough, but that is one of the options you can do in the improvement phase. Then we go to activation. So with steps 3, 4 and 5, I tend to just do them at the same time because they're simultaneous. So once I've done my activation, I just go straight to my neglect and then do my discharge, even if the other players are still going. But we are going to do it step by step for this video. But if you want to speed the game up, do steps 3, 4 and 5 at the same time. Don't wait for other players, just go ahead and do that. So activation, this is where our little people come into play. So we have 3 nurses who are just the regular workers. They can go to any of these rooms and activate them for what they are. Our specialists, however, have got the same action as them when they go to one of these, because you'll notice these have got a grey symbol. They can all do the same job. However, this person here can do something a little bit extra. These are all unique in the deck, so I will go through them as they go along. I'll explain this one as well in a moment. But let's go ahead and start with the rooms. So on a turn, whilst we're doing this at the same time, and Jade can do hers while I'm explaining this, you're going to send one worker into one room. Now you can't have multiple workers going to the same room and doing the same action. Once there is one worker in one room, that's it. You've got to send another one to another room, and then another one to another room. So like that. So you can see that there's only one worker per room. Also, I can go ahead and send one of these into one of the rooms. However, you'll notice if you've got more workers than rooms, because we've only got 6 to start with, if you've got more workers than rooms, or more rooms than workers, it might be that maybe you're not being efficient enough, especially having too many workers. That is always a bad thing, unless some of your workers don't really give you any effect. Anyway, I'm waffling on there. So what you'll do is, if you go to one of these 3 rooms, you're going to up one of the coloured die down here by 1 value. So let's say I go ahead and send this nurse to here, and I'm going to up one of the yellow die. So let's just say I up this one from a 4 to a 5, if I could find it. It's quite important that you put it down on the tick, because if it's been treated at least once this turn, it will not decrease in number. I can treat this one again if I wanted to, but I want to try and treat each of them equally so that none of them go down in number. The reason for this is if a die goes from 6 to a 7, even though it can't go to a 7, instead of going to a 7, it will go over to here, they'll be discharged, they're healthy, and you get points. If it goes from a 1 to a 0, then unfortunately you go this way, you end up taking one of these tokens over here, and you end up losing points at the end of the game for every death that you have. It's not very nice, but we hopefully won't have too many of these. We'll have lots of these. We'll have a nice positive video where all our patients are going to be nice and healthy, or at least I hope so. So these are just colour reference. So if I was to go and send this nurse to here, I can up one of my reds by 1 space. So I can up this 5 to a 6, and again it goes down in the tick area. This side can be a specific colour but any number, whereas this side is a specific number but any colour. So it's kind of like the opposite. Yeah, you can see where we're going with that one. So I could go along and put my nurse there, and I could up a 5 or a 6 to whatever I want. So I can go ahead and up this 5 to a 6 just there. So I've treated 3 out of 4 of my patients. I'm then going to go here and I can put my red worker here, and let's just go ahead and do the 3 or 4. So just like the other workers, it can do the action of the room. So let's go ahead and do that first. So I'm going to turn my 3 to a 4, and that goes down to the tick because I've treated it at least once. This one means I can up another red die by 1 space. If you do a red, you get to do another red. So even though these have been treated this turn, I could go ahead and treat that one straight away. Because it doesn't go to a 7, it will just go straight to this room. But that is all 4 of my workers done. I've spent that one, and I've spent my 3 nurses. This is where the neglect phase comes in. So you'll notice I've done my activation. Neglect, I can go ahead and do that as soon as I've finished. It doesn't matter what Jayde has done at this point. I can just go ahead and do the neglect phase. So with the neglect, anybody that was not treated at least once this turn, unfortunately, will go down by 1, and then everybody else will go back into the arrowed space there. Then we do the discharge. Again, I can just do this whilst the other players are going. So discharge, I'm going to discharge 1 die, and that will go back in the bag, and that will get me a whole 1 point. So I go up here, and I'm going to just up that by 1 point. Now, going over to what Jayde done, did you discharge anybody?
Nope.
No, and that was all your neglect and everything.
Yep.
So those 3 will get pushed back up once you've done your neglect. And that is the end of the round. If you guys want to do the discharge at the same time, that's absolutely fine. But you'll notice that you'll see people putting into their discharge bit while they're doing their activation anyway. So I would say either don't consciously look at each other, or perhaps take 1 turn at a time, although that could take a very long time. It is better to do it at the same time simultaneously, and maybe just don't consciously look at what the other player is doing. On top of putting your workers into different rooms, you can also spend these blood bags. So for every blood bag you use, you can instantly up 1 of the die. So if Jayde wanted to, say one of those ones on the right that you didn't treat that round, you could have spent a blood bag and upped it by 1 point. However, these also get you points at the end of the game for each one you don't spend. And then finally, once you've done the activation, neglect and the discharge section, you can do the shift change. All you have to simply do is put all of your nurses back into the nurses station, and then take any of your special workers and put them back onto the specific cards. That is very important to do, because if I have multiple red workers, they will have different abilities, and it's good to keep track of which ones you've used and which ones you haven't. Also part of the shift change, we have to move this on to the number 2. Now this is loose, unfortunately, this can get knocked quite a lot, so just remember which round you are on. So Jayde is now the first player because she has the first aid bag, and she gets to deal 1 of each of the tile and cards. So if you like to do that, you get to flip those, and then it's up to you if you want either an extra tile or an extra worker. And early game, it's likely good to do that. I'm a little bit stuck on that one because you'll notice I have no green workers at the moment, but that will soon change because, if we pop our ambulances back, just very quickly, because we are going to get more patients. Every round, you are going to take 3 more die. It gets very dangerous later on. If you take patients, you haven't got room for them, you have to instantly kill those patients to make room for the new ones. You can't just decide not to take them. You have to make room for them somehow, which could be instant neglect. So it's really managing what die are coming in and getting rid of them before the new lot come for the next round. Right, so we are back to the intake phase. So we're going to take 9 die out of here. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Was that 8 again?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, and one more. There we go. So Jade's going to give those a roll, and it's up to me this time to order them because I'm technically to the right of that player.
Well, 1s and 6s.
Yep, your hand's in the way. Yeah, 1s and 6s get rolled. Okay, so the 2s have to go on. These 2s have to go on the leftmost, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. These 5s, I can decide which 3 are going to go onto the right. I think I'll have one of each colour. Actually, no, I'm not, because I'm not choosing first. I'm going to swap one of these, actually. I'm going to swap that 5 for that green 5. So, the 4 5s have to go as far right as possible. The 2 2s have to. And then one of these 3s has to go on this ambulance. I think I'm going to go ahead and put that green... No, I'm going to put the green one on that one. Red one on that one, and then a green 4 here. I feel like I'm going to be left with this one, and these are all green related cards. So Jade, you get to choose first. I thought you might take the one with the 5s. And I'm going to go ahead and take the number 2, so I get those 3. The other 3 die go back in the bag because nobody wanted those patients. I don't know where they go when they go back in here. I don't want to know, actually. Right, so I had the lowest number, so I'm going to take that back. It is worth noting that Jade doesn't lose her previous blood bag. She can save them up, but I do get another one from the supply. And because I have the lowest ambulance, I get to go first. So I put that back. I should have done that last time, but we didn't. There's only 2 of us, so it's quite easy to keep track on who's been. If you've got more players, actively do that. Right, I can go down here, and I think I want an extra member of staff. So this one is, if I up a green, I can up another die of the same value. That's why it's greyed out. So if I up to green 6, I could also up a red 6 or a yellow 6, or even another green 6. This one is when I up a green, I up that same one by an extra step. Very different from this one, because this is when I up a red, I up another red. This one is specifically the same one, but just an extra step. I think I'm going to go ahead and take her because I've got lots of yellow going on here and lots of yellow that match my green die there. So let's take her, and not forgetting I need a green worker. Thank you very much, Jade. Going to put that there. And what's Jade going to go?
I'll go for the worker.
Okay, so you also get a green worker. This room was not used, so that can just go over there. And because we've done the improvement stage, we can go straight ahead and do the activation phase. What am I going to do? Wow, okay, so firstly, I'm going to send my red out, I think. I'm going to go ahead and up a red. So if I up this one to a 7, that goes. And because I upped a red die, I get to up another red die. So this one is done. 2 die in 1 hit, that's good. Then I'm going to send my green worker out, and I'm going to send her over here. So I can up a 3 or a 4. I'm going to up this green 4, and this means if I up a green, I get to up another die of the same value. It was a 4, so I can do one of these 4s as well. And I'm going to go ahead and do that one. So I've still got 4 die that I need to treat with 3 workers. This is going to be very tricky. Right, one of the nurses is going to go and treat a yellow. I think I'm going to treat this 5 here, so it goes to a 6. I'm then going to send this worker over here, and I'm going to treat this 5 to another 6. And then this nurse is going to go over here and cure one of the greens. So that 3 is going to go to a 4. So I managed to treat 7 out of 8 of my patients using 5 members of staff. So that is how these are very important, because they can do multiple die, which really help with this phase and the neglect phase. Unfortunately, neglect, this one is going to go back down to a 3. And then I'm going to do my discharge die, which again is only 1 die, but it is a point.
Done.
And then all of these slide back up to the arrows. Just to make it a little bit tidier, this is what I like to do. I just shift them over to the left so that when I intake, I can clearly see how many spaces I have left. You don't have to do that. I just prefer it, and it's neater. Wow. So Jade is going to how many is that? That is 5 points. So in one round, Jayde has overlapped me. I'm not doing great just doing one at a time, I must admit. Okay, now we've done the discharge and Jayde's done really well. This goes back in the bag. We can then do the shift change. So again, put all your nurses back, put your workers back on here, and then we can go on to the next round. So round 3. I've got the first player marker this time, so for the round setup, I'm going to deal one of each of these. And I'm going to deal an extra. Yeah, I think we need one more worker this time. Okay, there we go. That's what we've got here. Now you'll notice that we've got blue and there are no blue die. That's because this is to do with any colour die. A lot of these blue workers is when you up any die, you get to do something else. They're really quite strong, the blue workers. I'm hoping to get one. Also, fun fact, the guy that I painted these ambulances with is also a paramedic. That should be his face there, but it's not. So, round 3, we go straight back to the intake phase. We are going to take 9 out of here again. By the way, I keep pulling the die out because this is a velvet bag and Jayde doesn't touch velvet bags. Nope. So I have to keep doing this one-handed, so excuse the bad counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 again.
Yeah, 8 again.
I always draw 8. That's 3 rounds in a row. And that one. Okay, so I'm going to give those a bit of a roll. Yeah, 1s and 6s I get to re-roll. Wow, they're really low numbers. You get to order those. Okay, so Jayde has put those in order. As you can see, there was an overspill of 2s. Quite a lot of 2s actually. That's not great for us. Just the 1, 3, a couple of 4s and a couple of 5s. I could probably not do with the 2s. Or any 2s at all, so yes, I'm going to take the higher one. Now it's great taking the higher die because obviously they're closer to being cured, but you have less chance of getting the first pick of these, and in this case I am going last in picking these. Anyway, let's go put these in my ports, and then Jayde, you get one of the other 2. Thought you might take that one. Who wants the 3 2s? Right, let's chuck those back in the bag. You get the first player marker and the blood bag. This will happen a lot in 2-player. It's just back, forth, back, forth. When you play with more players, the player order does really shift around a bit more. It's not so uniformed as it is in 2-player. So that one there means when you up any die, you can up another die of value 1 to 3 by 2 steps. So if you upped anything, you could then up a 3 to a 5, for example. That's a really good one to have. So you go ahead and take that. I think I'm going to take this one. I know I'm already dealing with red, but that's up a red, up another red. This one is when up a red, I get to up one of the same value. Can I have a red worker, please? So now we have done our intake. Jayde has already got rid of the tile that wasn't wanted. We're going to go ahead and do the activation phase now. I think I'm going to start with this one. So, up a red, I will up a 5 to a 6. That means I can up another die of the same value, which I will do this one to a 6 also. So that's that one done. Let's do this one next. So I can go and do a green. I'll do this one, 3 or a 4. I'm going to do a green 4 to a 5, if I can find it. And I can do another 4 also, so I'm going to do that one to a 5. This one I'm going to go ahead and do the 5 red. Okay, so that one's going to turn to a 6, and because I up to red, I get to up another red. So this one is going to get cured this turn. I'm then going to send this worker here to up a yellow, and I think I'm going to up this one straight to a 7, so that is discharged as well. This worker can go over to here and up a green, and I'm going to up this 5 to a 6, and I think I want to make a little bit more room. I'm going to spend this blood bag, and I'm going to up this 6 to a 7, so that's cured. So I've only ignored the 2 this time. I've got one more worker, but unfortunately I can't up a 1 or 2, so it looks like I'm going to start needing more rooms. Now bearing in mind guys, yes, maybe I haven't done the best strategy so far, but you know, I am trying to film this so you guys can see the game, so you've got to let me off somewhere. Right, then I'm going to do my neglect, so this one goes down to a 2, this one goes down to a 4, and then I'm going to push all the rest back up, and then I am discharging 3 patients, which gets me 5 points.
I only discharged one.
Ah, so Jade went up to 6 and now I'm on 7. So I'm just ahead of you again. Whoa. Okay, let's go ahead and do the shift change section. So my nurses go back, my specialists go back to their cards. Let's deal one of each, and Jade, you get to choose an extra one. Then we need to do the intake phase. So here we go. Shall I pull out 8 again?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It clearly is my natural hand limit is 8. Right, so give those a little roll, and then I'll be the one ordering those. Any 1s and 6s gets re-rolled, and then I get to order these. So the 2 has to go on here, the 5s have to go on the far right one, and the 4s have to go on that middle one. It's just up to me how I put the 3s. Now I haven't got many reds, and if I'm going to end up with that one, I am going to end up with the red one, so I've got something to do. So there we go. That's like that. Right, Jade, you have the first player marker, you get to pick first. Thought you might, and yes, I'm going to go for that one as well. Okay, so those 3 go back in the bag, and I will take that, and I'll get a blood bag. I've already got one here, thanks Jade. Okay, so now we have done that, going in ambulance order, I get to pick one of these. Think I'm going to go ahead and take, oh, what should I do? I think I'm going to do this one, the ears, nose and throat specialist. Well, I've got 6 members of staff and 6 rooms, but one of the rooms is pretty useless in this game. And what are you going to take?
Triage now.
Okay, so this one will just go there, and I will start, and obviously you're going to go at the same time. Right, what am I going to do? Who knows? Let's cure some patients. Let's do this one here. So this means upper green 3 times. So this one is going to go 5, 6, and then 7 cured, because it's 3 steps. And it started off as a 4, so I get to up another 4. But you only get to up the extra one time, not 3 times like the green die. I'm going to go ahead and do this one here. Because if I up a red, let's do this one here. If I up this 3 to a 4, I can also up another red. So that one's going to go. This chap's going to come along here and he's going to up a red, but he's going to do the 4 to a 5, and because that started as a 4, I can up another 4 as well. Right, I've got 3 workers and 5 die to deal with. Right, let's send this one here to up that 6 to a cured. I'm going to send this worker here to up this 6 to a cured, and then this one is going to go ahead. I think we're going to up this 5 just here, so that's going to go to a 6. These 2 are neglected, so that one goes down to a 1, this one goes down to a 4, these go up. And what's my discharge? 4 this time. So I get 7 points. So let's chuck those back in the bag.
3, so I get 5 points.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I totally knocked you off. You're on 6, yeah?
On to 11.
5 points, yep. Yeah. Okay, there we go. So, just still ahead there. How many did you discharge, sorry?
3.
3 of them. Cool. Right, that is that done. I'll slide these over. This one needs my full attention. Otherwise, I'm going to get one of those bad tokens. And I do not want that. Right, let's shift change. So my nurses go back. My specialists go back to their cards. So now we are on round 5. I've got the first player marker, so I get to choose which one of these is extra. Okay, so we've got an extra red worker who, up in a red, ups it 1 more step. And this building here is the red equivalent of this. I did shuffle this before we started playing. Let's go ahead and get an extra room. I think we need some variance on the rooms there. So this is quite an interesting one. So when you up a yellow, you get to up a yellow of 1 less value and 1 greater value. So it does require you to have 3 yellows in numerical order. So if I could get that 1 to a 4, I could up all 3 of them for 1 worker. It's quite hard to set up, but it is doable. So now that is done, we need 9 die for the ambulances. How many is that? Bet that's too many this time.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Ah, no. Okay, I thought I'd go a little bit overboard. Maybe one of these rounds I'll get it right. So all the 6s and 1s need a re-roll. Okay, and then Jade, you get to put them in order. Okay, so Jade has ordered those, and as you can see, there are some higher numbers even on the lower ambulance. So that was quite a good roll. I've got the first player marker, so I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and take this one instead.
So you keep the first
So, well, or I'm going to force you to the lower die. So it's up to you, slightly different.
I've got a few lower dice, so I'm going
No,
for that one.
you're going to go for that. So even though I've still got the first player marker, I took the lowest ambulance, so I get a blood bag, please. Okay, so I've got the lowest one, so I'm going to go ahead and choose the first. Let's go and do another... Oh, this is difficult actually. I haven't got many red die. Let's go and do this one, just so I've got something a little different to work with. And what are you going for? Oh, you're going for that red room. So again, another member of staff that we don't want. So that goes there. Right, pop the ambulance back. Then we can go for the activation phase. So I definitely need to sort this yellow one out. Before I do that though, I'm going to send this worker up to here. I'm going to show you how this works. So, up 3 die as long as they are in numerical order. So I have got that. I've got a 4, a 5 and a 6. So that one cures. This one goes to a 6. And this one goes to a 5. That's sorted. I think just so I don't lose it, I'm going to send this nurse over here to up a 1 or a 2. So that one is going to turn to a 2. I'm going to send the microbiologist just to here. I'm going to up a... Oh, what should I do? Oh yeah, one of these. So if I up a 5 to a 6, I can also up one of these to a 6 as well. I'm going to go ahead and send the anaesthetist in. He's going to up this 5 to a 6, and I can up another red. So that red is going to cure. I think I'll send this worker into here to up a 4 to a 5. And then finally, I've got this chap here, who is going to up a red. He's going to up this 6, and he gets to up another one of the same number. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this, no, this green actually. So that is done. So my neglect phase is just this one. This one goes down to a 3. These all move back up, whoops. And I think since I've got extra blood bags, I'm going to spend one of those blood bags. I'll pop that over there, and I'm going to up this one as well. So I'm getting rid of 5 patients there, which is 9 points. Yes. So I'll pop those back in the bag, and I'm going to get myself 9 points. So that round Jade got rid of 2 and I got rid of 5, so that is our score there. We are then going to put these chaps back. You've done yours already, haven't you, Jade? Thought you might have done. Alright, let's pop those back, and we get to go on to round 6 now. So I've still got the marker, so I get to choose again which extra. Now I've got enough rooms now, so I think I'm going to go and get another member of staff. We then need to do the intake phase, so shall I try and get 9 this time?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Here's 9.
You got 8.
No, really? Okay, there we go.
There's a lot of yellow there.
Okay, so give those a little bit of a roll. Let's see what we got. All 1s and 6s?
Yeah.
No rerolls?
No.
Oh wow, okay, so you get to order them, yeah? Okay, there is our next order. And I think I'm going to be a little bit... I think I might go for this one. Because I've got members of staff that cure red, and I don't have any red otherwise. So I'm going to do that one. And Jade's taken the lower one. Oh wow, okay, there we go. So you get that. And a blood bag. So I took a lower one for nothing. Oh, okay, well they go back in there. Right, Jade, you get to pick first then, so pop your ambulance back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to pick first, Jade. Okay, and then I will go ahead and get this one then. Ah, there we go. So there's no limit to how many members of staff you have. I'm just going to go ahead and get a yellow worker and put her on there. So this is when I up a yellow, I get to up it one more step. That will come in quite useful when mixing it with this room just here. Okay, now we've done that, that room goes, and we can go ahead and do the activation again. So I'm going to go ahead and put her in the 2 there. That will up it to a 3, and because of her ability, it ups one more time. So actually it goes up to a 4. I'm then going to use this nurse to go here and up this yellow, so that 2 can go to a 3. I'm then going to use this nurse to go up here, and I've got 3, 4, 5, so each of these can be upped by 1 number. This one can up the red from a 4 to a 5. I'm going to bring this red worker here. That can up... Oh no, actually I won't. I'm going to bring in the green worker. Bring that to here. Up that 5 to a 6, if I can find it. And then I get to up another 5. So I'll up this one to a 6. Now these, even though their ability are red, I could send them to one of these and up a green, but then doesn't get that effect. But I will do... No, in fact I'm going to have to do this one. No, I'm going to send this up here. So it ups a green 3 times. I get that, but I don't get the red special. So I can do that to a 4, 5, 6. I can put that one straight up to a 6. And then this one here can cure the other green to a 4. Yes, I didn't use their special abilities, but there aren't many red die to use. Okay, so all of those have been treated. There's no neglect this phase, so these can just move back up. But I have no discharge this turn. How many are you getting rid of, Jade?
4.
Wow, okay, so that is 7 points. So you go up to 21. Oh, catching up again there, Jade. Rightio. So, round 7 now. You've got the first player marker, so you get to put those out and you get to choose an extra one. Okay, okay, so you're going with an extra building.
It's all yellow.
All yellow. And, well, we don't know what die are coming out yet. So let's go ahead and give those a big shuffle. Right, this time I'm going to get 9. Okay, you ready for the 9? How many is that? No! I'm getting 8 or 10. I'm not actually getting 9. Right, so give those a little bit of a roll. Okay, let's see what you got. 1s and 6s get re-rolled. And, oh, I get to order them this time. I might actually swap that red 2 with the green 2, if that's okay. Because I feel like I'm going to get left with that. Okay, so Jade, you get to pick first. Which one are you going for? Excellent. Okay, so that's why I did that, because I want some more red die. They're very low, but I can deal with those. Right, so that's that. I get the blood bag and the first player marker. Thank you very much. And those 3 go back in the bag. And I get to choose first. So that's going back. Which one am I going to choose? Wow. They're all pretty hard. Let's do... Do I get another worker? I mean, I only had 1 room spare. But I could have used it. So yeah, let's go with her. Let's get another worker. 5 workers. I didn't actually put my workers back from last turn. Ugh. How bad of me. Thank you very much. Alright, okay, so I'm going to get another one of those. Right, so that's that done. We can go with the activation now. Okay, let's do this one here. So this green is going to go here, and it's going to up... Oh, actually, no. This green can go here, up a die 3 times, so this can go 5, 6, and then done. Because it was a 4, it can up this one as well. This red can do the same number. So this one can go and do the 3, put this 3 to a 4, and this 3 to a 4. This one's going to go here, up this red 2, and because it upped to red, it gets to up another red. So I'm going to up this one to a 6. Right, then I've got these ones left. Let's go and put this yellow one here and just up a 5 to a 6. Shall I do that? No, I won't. I'll just do... No, yeah, I'll do that one. Yeah, let's up that 5 to a 6. I'm also going to do that again with that yellow. Up in that 6 to a complete. I will send this one over here, up that green. And I'm going to send this nurse over here, up that 6 to a complete as well. And while I'm at it, I'm going to spend a blood bag. That can go up there. And I'm going to instantly cure this one, and I'm going to leave it at that, so there's no neglect again, so these can just go back up. And I'm getting rid of 6 patients this time, which is 11 points. So 33, 34, and oh, not those ones. Oh, that was close. These ones go back in the bag, and this time I'm going to put my workers back, and that is done. Jade, what have you got?
I have done 5.
Oh, nicely done. 5 gets you 9 points. So that puts you on to 30. Nicely done. So you're catching up again. It's a really close game, especially when you don't add all these modules in. The scoring can be really close. Right, so that puts us on to round 8. This is going to be our final round. So, are you ready for this?
Yes.
Are you sure? I get to choose which extra goes out, and I think it's going to be an extra room. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I think it's going to be an extra room there. Oh, that's not great. Okay, let's go ahead and do some intake. Am I going to get 9 on the final round?
Probably not.
Shall we see?
Go on.
Right, have a handful. No, that felt like one too many. Right, here we go.
3, 6, 9.
I did it! Yes! On the final round. Brilliant. And you get to order them. Okay, so I get to pick first. Right, I think I will go for this one just here. So I've got one of each colour. Okay, I think I'm going to get rid of most of these in this turn. We'll see. Those 3 can go back in the bag. Not that we have another turn, but let's just do it anyway.
On the blood bag?
Yes, you do, because it's the lowest number. Okay, time to choose here. So you got the lower number. What are you going for?
This one, I think.
Yeah? No? And I think I'm just going to go ahead. I'll take this, but I'll get rid of it to get a blood bag. So I'll take one from there. So I've got 2 blood bags. These are my little backup. These are 1 point at the end of the game, but sometimes just curing another patient will actually get you more points than just saving them. So let's see how we get on. 7 die, 8 members of staff. We should be able to do this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start with her upper die, and I get to up it 1 more space. So I'm going to chuck that into the yellow there. So that 5 becomes a 6 and then cured. That's 1 done. This one is going to go in here and sort out the other one. So 5 to a 6 and then cured, because she has the same ability. I'm going to send him in to up a red. I'm going to up the 5 to a 6, and because it's the same number, I'm going to do this one. That's 5 to a 6 as well. I think I'm going to try and combo that and send her to here, and if I up that 6, I get to up that 6 as well because they're the same numbers. They're done. I will then send this one here. If I up a red, I'll up this 3 to a 4, and I'll also up that die as well because I can up 2 red. Okay, that's all my specialists done. I'm going to send this nurse up here and up this 4 to go 5, 6 and cured. And then that leaves me with 2 nurses and a room that I cannot use. Okay, so that wasn't too great. I will go ahead and spend these 2 blood bags though to up that 5 to a 6 and then to a cure. Nothing happens with this last die, it just goes back up here. If we were playing with this module though, it might be that I might be able to score extra points for that. But I'm not going to. This is all I can do. I didn't really plan that very well, but hey ho, again, I'm trying to film, and yeah, I mean, I think I played it pretty good, considering I wasn't really paying that much attention to actually what was happening. Right, here we go. So I've got 6 die there, which means I get 11 points. So they are going to go back in the bag, and I get 11 points, which puts me on 45 points. I'm just going to wait for Jayde and see what she's up to. You can use that as a normal worker, so it doesn't have to do the ability.
Yeah,
if that
but
helps
I don't
at all.
want to do these abilities.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like you've got that green ability or up in a 3 or a 4, but then that won't get you any extra points on the discharge, will it? Have you used all your blood bags?
Yep.
Okay. There's no way of just discharging that last 6, no?
No.
Oh no, so how many are you getting rid of?
4.
Okay, so that will get you the 7 points, which puts you on 37, which there isn't much of a gap, to be honest. I did jump ahead just at the end there, but I managed to get rid of all but 1. Ah, well done. Maybe the blue guys are normally quite good, but maybe they were a bit trickier for you this time. But there we go, guys. That was Dice Hospital. So that was 37 to Jayde, 45 to me. Well, thanks Jayde for that. That was great. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this mystery game. Again, if you guys want any of the extra stuff, if you want to see it, let me know in the comments below. And, you know, maybe I'll do another video including all the extra stuff. But for now, guys, please subscribe to the channel so you guys can see all future mystery games just like today's one. And like episode 1. Go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. But there we go. That was Dice Hospital.